So I want to start with we're going to circle to a use case, but before we get to a use case, we want to give you a quick tour of CXInfinity. And so we'll start with the agent experience. I want to show you this first. We'll give you a quick tour from the agent perspective, and then we'll show you the customer visitor experience. Now, my agent's logged into Finesse, and inside of Finesse, they have their CXInfinity gadget, and this is where they'll access all of their digital channels. So my voice state is manipulated up here at the top, so my agent's ready for voice, and my digital channel's over here on the right within CXInfinity. Right now, I'm ready for email, and I'm not ready for chat. We'll go ahead and make ourselves ready for chat so that we can get a chat. Notice that when we did that, our state synchronized, and it took me not ready for voice, so that I don't have a conflict. That behavior is configurable. Now, on the main CXI page, our email interactions are here. So we'll notice that we're in mail now. The email interactions are individually loaded here. The body of the message here in the center. And then all the supplementary tools, customer information, third-party integrations, knowledge-based case management will all be over here on the right. And I'll show you those more in depth here when we go through a use case. We're just kind of breeze through here for an overview now. Now I've just hopped down to chat. So this is where all my chat interactions are going to accumulate as an agent. So whether that's web chat or an instant message, an SMS, all those channels aggregate here into this interface. For voice, you're not left out if you have voice channels. A unified agent desktop provided to provide a similar level of automation and functionality and integration for your agents during their voice calls as well, all within the same UI. And a wallboard embedded directly within this, so the agents can have quick and easy visibility to their team's performance and the overall contact center health, and maybe even their individual performance. So let's get started. Let's take a quick look at our example visitor site. So this website is the Novavox Credit Union website. And there's a few things I want to show you that CXInfinity is bringing to the table for your website. The first is the chat form. Now, I've got a request form here actually now, and this is because when I loaded this site originally, there was nobody available in queue. So this is really great. Even if you don't have agents in the contact center, after hours, you get a visitor on your website at all hours of the day, 2 in the morning, but your contact center may only be open from 7 to 5. What do? Do you not have chat? So in this case, we expose a form for them to submit a request so that when the agents arrive in the morning, that request will be there and they can follow up with that interaction now.
Travis, I wonder how many opportunities are missed because they can't leave anything, they can't do anything, they send an email or whatever. It's not really consistent within the system. I wonder how many are missed by not having that simple functionality.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely leaving some opportunities off the table there.
Yep.
Now, when I reloaded the page just so I could show you the chat form. Now the form is configurable. You can configure this on the basis of whichever page I'm loading. You can set whatever fields you want, color schema, so on and so forth. And this, I just got a few drop downs. We'll collect some basic info from our visitor and we'll start a chat. I'll go back to my agent side. I'm getting an audible notification and we see that chat coming in. We'll go back to the visitor experience. And notice here, just real quick, I want to point out that we can also escalate these interactions to voice and video using WebRTC. So not only, if you have a frustrated person, oftentimes it's going to be much more valuable for that person to talk to someone, but either just through voice or also through a webcam. So that's all enabled through this as well.
So it makes it easier for the person instead of typing a whole bunch of stuff and they're frustrated. But I think, that another thing it does is it really adds a personal touch and certainly shows, particularly in the day and age today, where we're doing all this stuff over Zoom and all these other WebEx and all these other camera things. I think people are more comfortable now and they like to be able to see the other person they're dealing with. That's I really like that. I think that was a really nice add-on.
I think you're right. We're really happy to have that here. And we're also going to be adding co-browsing too, so that if you do get a visitor who's stuck on your website and needs a little bit of help, your agent will be able to jump in and help them through a remote session, showing them where they need to click and so forth. Now, some of the other functionality that CXInfinity is providing to the consumer-facing website is the FAQ and the knowledge base. So this is the same Novavox knowledge base, CXInfinity knowledge base that the agent's going to have access to, but some articles can be tagged for public consumption, meaning that on the basis of a setting that they're automatically going to become available for your website so that you have one data repository regardless of the audience.
So Travis, back to the main page,
Sure.
if you would. So you might want to just show a little bit more, not this page, the CXInfinity page. You
Oh,
might
the
want to just
agent
spend,
site, sure.
yeah, let's spend a little bit more time showing everybody what's there. So for example, right now we have all the Facebook, all of the different SMS, everything is showing up in one section here. So it's all available, and all the history and the past history is all showing up. Kind of lay that out for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got all my interactions are selected here. Now our new one just came in, so I've got my interaction over here in the middle, and I can send a canned message if I need to. We can, but the dialogue is here in the center. Now all the supplementary tools that I need to be successful here are here on the right. So my customer profile, my interaction history, so I can see all of our past interactions with this person regardless of channel. So if I had a Facebook here, if I had a voice call here, that complete unified interaction history is presented for the agent. And if it was a digital channel, we can actually click on that and expand it and display the transcript.
So Travis, on the left side, where Facebook might be coming in and all the different social channels, messaging, all those would just line up there based upon, so they would all kind of consolidate into one area.
That's right. And they all behave the same from the agent perspective as well. There's no difference in how you have to handle that. Now, Unmol, we have Unmol on the line from NobleVox. I'm going to have Unmol take the role of a web visitor and send us a chat. Unmol, if you're with us, can you please initiate a chat, my good customer? So while we're waiting on Unmol's chat, real quick, what you're seeing here in this particular frame is an integration with Jack Henry. This represents NobleVox's rich third-party integration capabilities. We are seeing our new chat come through now. So while we're doing that, let's circle back. I want to tell you a little bit about the use case that you're about to see. So we're going to take a web chat. We're going to escalate this to a video chat. So you're going to see the real-time video chat. We're going to authenticate our customer and Mole. I'll show you how to block a card using this integration, and how we can follow up, and how we can use case management all within CXInfinity. So back to CXInfinity, and we're talking to Unmol. He's messaging me. I'm hearing some audible chimes. Now, notice while he's typing, I can see a preview of his message. He says he has a long story. He needs to block his card. Okay. Now, the preview is really nice. If you have a slow typing visitor, you can actually kind of get ahead of the curve there and plan your response, and you can maybe get your Knowledgebase article prepared or start typing a ticket if you need to. Now, Mol's asking for a call, so we'll escalate this web chat into a call. And Mol, if you can go ahead and give us a call, sir. In the meanwhile, like I mentioned, our interaction history is all organized here. Now we're getting our video call prompt from Unmol. We'll go ahead and take our video call. Hi, everyone. Thanks for calling Unmol. Unmol being our customer in this case. So what we're going to do in this engagement while we're talking to Unmol is, first thing we want to do, if we're a credit union or financial institution, is we want to authenticate our caller, make sure Unmol is who he says he is. So through our integration frame here, I'm going to be able to go through an authentication prompt and verify his identity. On the back end, we're doing this all through Scimitar SIM Exchange API. This could also be some other third-party system. Any system with an API can have a similar integration like this, or in the case of a basic installation, we can have where no rich API integration is needed. You can have customer information displayed like this, where we can have links to, for example, a Salesforce record and some other general fields displayed here. So when Mol's called, he needs us to block his card. So to do that, we'll go in here and into cards, and we'll go ahead and block his card. Great, we got his card blocked. And now Unmol has also asked while he's on the phone, can we create a ticket to get me a new card? So to do that, we'll go into the Knowledgebase ticket, the case management system, and we'll input the necessary information to get Unmol's card going. And this will escalate and use all the necessary SLAs within the case management system to make sure that the appropriate party is notified of the card request and that that case is escalated and moves through the process accordingly. Great. So we'll go ahead and wrap that up. When we end interaction, we can tag that with wrap up. We can append notes to this. We also have the capability to do things like tagging. So if you want to tag it for reporting purposes, you can do that very easily as well. All right. So let's take a step back, and I want to show you one more use case, just so we can take a look at the knowledge base, really. And for this, we'll show you. It says WhatsApp. I do want to show you an email as well. And this is not really important to channel because we can do it with any channel. The behavior is consistent regardless of channel, which is really important, especially from a training perspective. Is all of your training is the same. Your workflows are the same regardless of that channel. So in this case, I have an email here, a customer asking for help trying to get an auto loan. Now, all I would need to do is I help this customer, my knowledge base is here, and we have an article already set up to explain just that. So all I do as a user is I go in here, and this is actually going to automatically filter based on relevant information that it thinks is useful for this. That can be based on the subject of the email, the body, or other recently searched articles. In this case, it's suggesting this article here. And I could go and manually search for that if I needed to. And if there's any attachments to this knowledge base article, they'll be displayed here. From here, I can very easily email this article to the person, or I could copy it and send it right back to them in this email. If we need to provide any feedback, if there's anything wrong with this article, it's no longer relevant. As an agent, it's really easy for me to flag this and escalate this to the owner of this article. So I can go in here and one start, for example, and say, hey, this is no longer relevant. We need a refresh.
So Travis, to kind of review what we just did with these two cases, we basically went back to a backend system that we integrated with and pulled the information available. So, and then we validated the customer because we had the information right there from Jack Henry. So we're now able to offer the customer, the member, whoever's calling in, we're able to offer them all the information in front of them, make the call very efficient, and yet still provide them a very high level of service and make this call move along or this message move along very quickly. Correct?
Absolutely, you got it.
That's what I saw. And so the whole experience now has been improved, and they've done this with messaging and even video. And then if they had a case, we were actually able to create a case right there, all within the system without leaving, and provided knowledge base for them, which by the way is also available on the website that they could do from the FAQs as well from the website.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The knowledge base is really rich. Everything's organized neatly by categories. Popular articles are automatically suggested to the top. Recently added articles also propagate to the top too, so that the agents are always seeing relevant and useful information in front of them when they go to this tool.
What if they had their own? I'm sorry. What if they had their own knowledge base tool? Would they be able to integrate that?
We can integrate with any knowledge base which has an API available. Then we can provide that integration and tap that, and leverage that existing knowledge pool.
Cool. So they have the option of using either a knowledge base that we have built in, or they can use their own knowledge base or some combination of the above.
That's right. You got it.
Good. Okay. Perfect. In the case management, I think there's also a function where if they actually start to type in information on an email or chat, it'll actually start to provide information. Oh, that's in the knowledge base. It actually start to provide the information in the knowledge base for them, for the agent, and already prepare it for them. Correct? I think it's in the email.
That's right. Yeah. In our case, similarly in case management, we're going to pre-populate all those fields which we have access to. So knowing the person's name. Also, when we do case management, all of the cases which are going to show, we're automatically going to apply a filter to just show cases for this particular customer or visitor. So in this case, this person doesn't have any other cases, but if I switch persons, I can see that Anmol's got quite a few tickets open. So we better get cracking on solving some of these.
So Travis, when I, as an agent, would take this initially from someone chatting to me, I'd be able to see right in front of me all of the history that we've had with this particular person, correct?
Yep. Right here. So I do see that I've chatted with Anmol recently, but even before that, I've also got some emails that we did with Anmol. We would also show our Cisco voice interactions here as well.
All in one place, all right there. So basically on this one screen, an agent would be able to address almost any need that someone calling in would have, and being able to address that right away.
That's right. You got it.
Good. I think that's the value of what we're trying to offer is that we're making this very good experience, but we're also making it extremely efficient, and we're making it so much better so that when the people are getting to us, no matter what channel that they're using, we're handling it in the same exact way and giving the same efficient response. I think that's looks personally, I think this looks really good. I like it.
It's I want to point out it's one solution, right? It's one box with all of these features. We're enabling all of your channels, providing case management, knowledge base, bots will be coming soon. All of this, WebRTC, everything, database, reporting, supervisor, all the tools, the entire package comes in one box.
Good. All right,
So
let's talk about reporting a little bit, or supervisor, either one.
yeah, let's talk about supervisor. So I'm going to log in with a supervisor login, and so the supervisor, my supervisor is currently given permissions to also behave as an agent. So you can also see I can take chats and email if I need to. That's configurable. The most important thing for the supervisor is being able to lead and supervise your team. So to do that, we have a supervisor desktop, which shows me the real-time status of all my agents, how many interactions they're handling. I can real-time monitor a given chat interaction or view an email interaction. So for example, right now I'm looking at our good colleague Vikas, and I can see Vikas has a few active chats. I can evaluate and real-time monitor any of these chats by simply selecting that interaction. Similarly with email, we can barge into an active discussion if we see that it's not going well. The person might need some supervisor assistance. From this interface, I can also monitor my queues in real time, so I can see how many chats are sitting in queue, how many emails are in queue, and I can also very easily run reports, historical reports to see, maybe the chat logs from yesterday for a particular agent, all within the same interface. So as a supervisor, it makes it very easy to lead and administer your team.
I personally can't think of one experience where I've done any chatting with anyone where a supervisor has ever gotten involved, and I actually wish they had. I think that's powerful right there. That's a great function.
So, kind of
Feature.
an extension of that is that we want to be able to report on stuff. Different businesses have pretty drastic reporting needs. And so we've been logged out again for inactivity.
Hey Travis, I think there's another point we want to mention on that supervisor is that we're working on a new feature for sentimental analysis so that it'll automatically notify the supervisor if something's not looking like it's going well.
Yeah. Let me elaborate on that. So, sentimental analysis will read the emotion of a dialogue and understand the intention of a dialogue in an interaction. And so, if it detects that a person has reached a particular threshold, maybe it's keying in on some angry words or sensing frustration in a dialogue, the supervisor can be notified here in their notification tray that a sentimental analysis threshold has been breached, and so they might want to take a closer look at a given interaction that otherwise they wouldn't maybe necessarily have the visibility to see. If you have 40 chat interactions, but so being able to be proactively reminded anytime that we see something like that is really
Yeah,
nice.
and you know what? Especially if they're taking chats themselves. So they could be pretty busy, but to get notified of one, they can jump in right away. They may be able to save a customer or save somebody being having a bad experience.
Yeah,
That could be very important to a company.
absolutely. So the next logical extension and transition for us would be for an administrator. So you can have other non-supervisor roles assigned, just so someone who's just here to run reports, or IT administrator for the application for CXInfinity. And so here is our reporting engine. So everything that we do in CXInfinity, we can report on natively. So we write to our own database, and this reporting engine gives you complete flexibility to create and run and schedule reports. It's a fully featured reporting engine. So here I've got some stock reports that are in here, but if you want, you can go in and create your own reports and get as granular as you need to. This also plays very nice with Cisco. So if I want to bring in my telephony, my voice reporting, I can do that here instead of having to go run it in CUIC. You can also do the inverse if you like, so that all your reporting for all your channels, voice and digital channels, are always in one spot. You can either have them on CXInfinity, or you could have them in CUIC or your other reporting engine of choice. Okay, so with that said, Marty, I think it's probably a good time to open up for questions.
The first question is this offered as a SaaS or local deployment solution?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. We offer both models. So this can be cloud hosted and it could also be on-prem. And when we do a cloud installation, we use Amazon AWS. And in all cases, we support high availability with an active configuration. Thank you for the question.
Good. Okay. Is there a limit on the number of email and chat integrations an agent can work on simultaneously?
Number of email and chat interactions.
Yes.
No, you define the limit, right? I could have unlimited, or I could have a limit that more reasonable. I could say 5 emails, 10 chats, or 5 chats, 10 emails.
All
So
right.
that behavior is configurable.
Which technology is used for audio and video call?
So for your voice, you're still using Cisco, but in the case of the web chat being escalated to voice or I'll show you voice or webcam, then that would be using WebRTC, which is independent of the Cisco voice, of course.
Okay. There's another question about licensing, but we'll get to that when we start talking about the partner licensing model. So
Okay.
all in all, we've got a very complete product, although there are a few more things that we're adding over the next few months. Let's see if we can put together a list of those mentally, Travis, real quick. One is there's a bot that we'll be adding. We'll be adding co-browsing, and we'll be
Apple
adding,
Chat
I think, Apple Chat, and what
and
else?
sentimental analysis.
In the sentimental analysis. So those are the 3 or 4 things that we're working on. We're adding more things all the time. We don't want to keep this as a stagnant product because everyone's use of things is changing so rapidly. We want to make sure that we're adjusting and addressing each of them. So the basis of our product is right here, and we're looking forward to working with you on it. Our whole goal is we're going to be selling this through partners. We're going to be providing leads and providing a whole partner program. And where our goal will be getting partners up to speed, helping them, supporting them, making them successful in getting out in the marketplace with this, because this is in huge demand. I can tell you that from the desktop area, when we do demos, there isn't one demo we do that an omni-channel question does not come up. Wouldn't you agree, Trav?
Yeah,
There's not
absolutely.
one.
And one thing I wanted to bring up, we talked about bots. Novavox, we are bringing our own bots to this application, to CXInfinity this year. But if you have your own bot today, we can actually integrate and hook into your existing bot today. You don't have to wait for the Novavox bot. So we do
That's a
play
great
nice with
point.
third-party bots.
Let me jump in with this last question, and then we'll go to the partner part. If the chat session is escalated to a WebRTC voice video session, can the call metrics be included into the reporting with the regular voice channel?
Great question. If we have a Mole on the line, our tech analyst, and Mole, if you're with us, can you give some insight on how what we might do in that scenario?
So the voice and video calls will be part of a CXI report, and it would be available as part of the chat and email interactions in CXI in CXInfinity.
Okay, and there's another one that just came in. The front-end application for agent and supervisor is a gadget inside Cisco Finesse or a separate application?
It runs inside of Finesse, inside of CXInfinity. You can run this external to Cisco Finesse, but in the case of a Cisco Finesse contact center, path that makes most sense for most folks is going to be running it inside of Finesse so that it's automatically served up to you when you log in for your day.
So the answer is both.
That's right.
Both. It could be done either way.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's going to finish for the first part. Please stay. Anybody interested on the licensing model, the partnership model, so forth? We'd love to talk to you about that. Oh, Travis, do you want to just jump on this real quick before we go?
Yeah. So we're going to transition to, again, anyone who wants to stick around for partner licensing and architecture. Feel free to keep asking questions, guys. We'll stick around for you. So up on screen now is just a generic architecture diagram. I want to show you some of the high-level components and where we fit. Of course, the big takeaway here is that Novavox CXInfinity is responsible for all the routing for all the digital channels, and that we're complementary to the voice platform, whether that be Cisco, Avaya, Genesis, et cetera, and also independent of voice for those customers who don't necessarily have a contact center out there. Like we said, this is available in an on-prem model or in a cloud-hosted model with AWS by Amazon. And we run on in the case of an on-prem, we'll run traditionally on a Linux VM.